Hello, everyone. My name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. Welcome to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football and Turkish Super League podcast. Turkish Super League 2024-2025 season starts this Friday. It will be first week of the matches will played on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Get ready for excitement. Are you excited? Well, I am. Turkish Football Podcast and Turkish Super League Podcast will be happening every weekend right here, wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, drop a line for me wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you have any questions about Turkish football, Turkish Super League, I'd be glad to answer it. So let's start the brand new season with some notes, and also we'll talk about what's going to happen this first weekend. As you know, before the Turkish Super League season started this past weekend, the Super Cup match was played, and last year's defending champions Galatasaray and Turkish Cup winners Beşiktaş played their Super Cup match, final match in Istanbul Atatürk Stadium. And guess what? The worst team, and last year's beat last year's defending champions Galatasaray with a huge score, 5-0. I could not recognize Galatasaray. Galatasaray looked really bad. Beşiktaş with the new transfers looked good with the new coach. As you know, they hired a new coach. This was the sixth coach that hired in past few years. Beşiktaş looked much better in this match, in the Turkish Super Cup match. But that's only one match. But I could tell you this, Galatasaray, the defending champions, the Galatasaray that we knew, the Icardi that we know, did not look good at all against Beşiktaş. So Galatasaray now has a match coming up to order the advance to Champions League against Young Boys. Fenerbahçe just yesterday lost in the very last minute against French team Lille, 2-1 in the first leg match. They have a match against Lille, next weekend after the first weekend place in the Turkish Super League. They will host Lille team in Istanbul. They have to win that. On their new coach, the special one, Jose Mourinho, lost his first match with Fenerbahçe against Lille. They need to do better, and I think Fenerbahçe has a good chance to move up and then go to the playoffs for the Champions League match. Also, Beşiktaş, Trabzonspor plays in Europa League. They have a match coming up later on in August. And also Başakşehir has a match who will play in the Conference League. We'll have a match in the European competition. So starting in August, starting this weekend, for these teams, 5 teams that I mentioned that will play in the European competitions, things might be a little hard. That's why I think they have to start the league on the right foot, also keep playing in the European competitions. It's very important especially for Galatasaray. They have only one match. Actually, one opponent, 2 matches, first leg and second leg. They need to surpass Young Boys to order to get to a Champions League. And they need to play much better football. What we saw in the Super Cup match, that was not the Galatasaray that we knew. But the better side, I think, with the newcomers, Ciro Immobile and Rafa Silva, other players, Beşiktaş, at least I could say this, they were the first team last season. They look good so far, but that's the only match. So getting back to the 2024-2025 season. So here we go. The first weekend of the Turkish Super League will start on Friday, this coming Friday. The defending champions of Turkish Super League, Galatasaray, will host Hatayspor on Friday. There are 3 matches on Saturday. Kasımpaşa will host Konyaspor. Antalyaspor will be at home against Göztepe, the newcomer. Fenerbahçe will face Adana Demirspor in Istanbul. Sunday, there are also 3 matches. Sivasspor will be at home against Trabzonspor. Alanya will host Eyüpspor, another newcomer. Samsunspor will be at home against Beşiktaş on Monday. Rizespor will be at home against Başakşehir, and a newcomer Bodrumspor will host Gaziantep. And Kayserispor will have bye this weekend. So every weekend, one team will sit out because there are 19 teams in the Turkish Super League. So stay tuned and watch these games. After these games played and the European competition starts for 5 teams that I talked about, and then we'll come back. We'll preview what happened in the week 1 in the Turkish Super League. My name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. Listen to my podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow me on X, former Twitter, at Turkish Soccer, and also follow me at Turkish Football page on Facebook, Turkish Soccer and Turkish Football. Also on Instagram. I don't know if you could get on Instagram now because a lot of people in Turkey can't, but I am there too. Just Google my name, Ahmet Bob Turgut, or Turkish Soccer. Thanks for listening to my podcast, and I like to hear from you, whether I'm right or wrong on some things, or if you have a comment on your team. But let's say good luck to all the teams. It's going to be a long season. We'll see you down the line.